Peace. Okay. You see, I'm looking crazy. I want to talk about my initiation, or how I started to really understand or being spoke to in the spirit on another level. It was a little bit after my brother died. My grandfather and my dad came to me, and they start basically guiding me places. Like, I went down to Arkansas and got the records for my dad's birth so I could see what's on his birth certificate. I went to the VA and got the records for the VA to figure out, like, you know, what the fuck his name was, because they had my name fucked up and my dad's name fucked up. So I wanted to know, like, what's the fuck's going on here? Because these people in my so-called family, which I know they're not my biological parents, even though they are my biological family, except for my stepdad. I'm just talking about the family that raised me. That lady's not my biological mother. So they changed my name up. So my name is made up, and they changed it up. Good morning. And she made her name the same as mine, and then played like she was my dad's widow so that she could steal my fucking inheritance. And then they named my brother my dad's exact name, when my brother should have been a third if he was really truly my dad's son, which that's coming into question now too, because I have uncles and cousins and stuff that actually live in Seattle as well. So there's a lot of question as to whether my brother was my brother or even my cousin. He may not have been my brother. From what they telling me, it's a question within that in itself. But I had to get the truth about myself before I could start digging into the truth about all these other mysterious spiritual situations. And the way they talk to me and the way they help me to interpret the spiritual messages is what got me to where I'm at now. You feel me? And so different people within, because my dad was a priest, obviously, because there's people that know him. There's people that know my father. They say his name. They talk about my brother Nelson, and they talk about my dad Nab, and they talk about my grandpa Nelsie. But technically they all had the name Nelson. Then I have an uncle that was born 3 years after my dad. His name was Nelson as well. And then he has a grandson, and his name is Nelson as well. So there's multiple people that want the name Nelson Battle specifically. But I don't think people know that even though those names are famous, and Tamara Battles, which is my name that I use basically all throughout my childhood and my early adulthood, all the way up until I was about 40 and figured out what the fuck to say my name and corrected it to Ta, and everything as far as them harassing me changed, at least from the government standpoint. And I started to be able to understand what the fuck going on. And then I realized that my dad, his name is N.A. Battle. His name not Nelson either. So these names were chosen for specific reasons. And that's why I talk about Nipsey's name and how his name is Ermias. His name is not Nipsey Hussle, because there was a man named Nipsey Russell that was actually living. He was a comedian. So if you listen to Whitney Houston songs, you listen to Prince songs, you can even listen to Genuine songs. Listen to them songs backwards. They're talking about Nipsey. So are they talking about Nipsey Hussle or Nipsey Russell? Because if you listen to Tupac's songs, he's saying Ermias, Ashkido. He's saying his whole name, so he knew Ermias. You feel me? Ermias. He knew him, just like he knew me, because he know all my names. So he know that some of the stories that they be telling is about my stepmom, or whatever the fuck you want to call her. It's not about me. And then these people went into going as far as getting mail for me, which I know they were getting checks and shit because it's on my credit report. And it was different addresses, her brothers and sisters. This lady has multiple brothers and sisters. And they were all getting mail from me starting from when I was the age of 5 in 1983. when my dad died. That's when my credit file was formed. And all this was given to me when I had to do the identity theft paperwork and do a police report. I just didn't know exactly who was stealing my identity. Because this lady, even though she married my stepfather, Joseph Gordon, she still continued to use my name of Tamara Battles, which is the name that I was using for school and work. And she was never married to him. So she should have had her fucking maiden name. So she stole that name on purpose. And they've been impersonating me. And they're diabolical creatures, and they've done a lot of bullshit. So there's some people who can psychically view you, and they need your name to find you. So they can see the people that's calling themselves these names and see what the fuck they up to in their lives. And they see that they're fucked up. So they're like, you're coming to me in the spiritual and, you know, saying one thing, and then we go visit you in the physical, and bitch, you don't look like you said you look. You old than a motherfucker. You can't have no motherfucking kids. You infertile right now because of the age and whatever, in menopause was, you know, I won't go into all the fucking businesses. But, you know, they were saying stuff that was like, this isn't me, but I know who you're talking about. So I started to realize that's the same thing with my dad. These people have stolen his identity. The only thing they couldn't steal my grandpa identity, Nell C, and his spirit to run around here, because a lot of them talk about it. Especially them rappers and shit from New York. They talk about Nell C all the fucking time. And my dad was listed as being Nell's son. And like I said, the military has him listed as Nab. And Social Security has me listed as Ta. So my dad was N.A. Battle and I'm T.A. Battle. So the whole Tamara and the Nelson, that was just something that was made up, probably by my dad. You feel me? So these people thinking they stealing my identity when really, they really was telling on themselves because they didn't have the proper name. Not the name that was going to be manifesting all of the prophecies that were foreseen. The name is Ta. And that's who I am. You understand? So there's a lot of shit that it went on based on people trying to have spiritual readings done on somebody that, you know, is going through identity theft. Because identity theft can carry you into the spiritual realm. It can be in the spiritual realm when somebody steal your identity. And that I'm going to reiterate. That's why Nipsey say his name is Ermias, not Nipsey Hussle. If you play that rap nigga song backwards, that's what he's saying. Period. Okay? And I think that's why his mom reiterated. She got online and did a video and reiterated her son's birth name so that people would know who he was, because this Nipsey Russell, which is that man's birth name, which sounds just like Nipsey Hussle, this motherfucker could have been out there doing all kind of fucked up shit in the spiritual realm and everybody thinking it's Ermias and it wasn't. You feel me? Which I think also ties into why Ermias didn't release his mixtapes until he made that album, because he has a bunch of mixtapes and they're bomb. In my opinion, his mixtapes is better than his album. That's why I suggest everybody go back and listen to his music. Go find that shit on Tidal. That's where I get it from. Or wherever you're listening, you know, your streaming companies, and go back to his albums that he put out, mixtapes that he at least go back to 2009, and you can hear him talking about some shit that you can see manifested within his life, and you know he's a prophet. That's why I said we beat the identity theft case. You know what I'm saying? We beat it because the things that they thought they put curses on us, it didn't apply to us. And then we was able to make our own route. You feel me? We was able to change everything up. So the messages that may seem like it's bad or insulting, we made them good. So while I've been out here in this past 2 years manifesting this spiritual awakening, the shit has been marvelous. And people are like, why are you so happy when this motherfucker was saying this and that? And it's like, I seen it happen in the flesh. So I know what the fuck really happened. You just see it in the so-called spiritual. You don't know how it manifested down on the physical. You don't know how I felt about it. But I know how I felt. And clearly Ermias did too. So that's all I got to say about that. Peace.